to another episode of Exploring with Suki. This past summer, we went on a road trip to Sun Peaks Resort in British Columbia, Canada. We lived next door in Alberta, so it was only about an 8-hour drive. The highway to get to this location is surrounded by beautiful mountain valleys, so we took a lot of pit stops to let Suki stretch her legs. We knew we were coming here to see the wildflowers during peak season, but honestly nothing could have prepared us for how astonishing the views were. The wildflowers stretched on for kilometers and only seemed to get denser the higher that we climbed. All of the paths were super skinny with lots of tall grasses on the sides, and luckily this is Suki's favorite type of trail. The reason I mentioned the trail is because Suki is very picky about when and where she chooses to walk. If we are on a wide trail, Suki would much rather spend her time sniffing the bushes. Sometimes the trails that we are on end up being extremely busy, and in this case, Suki would rather just sit around soaking up all the attention from strangers. Because of this, hikes in busy areas often take up to 3 times longer because we are constantly stopping and talking to people on the way. While we don't mind a friendly chat, we do try to go on our hikes extremely early so that we can avoid the crowds. Another reason for this is because Suki is very sensitive to the heat. When it gets too hot, Suki would much rather lay down in the shade than continue walking. We usually head back to the parking lot before it starts to heat up. But if Suki does get tired of walking, she always gets a free ride in her backpack. Keeping her hydrated is very important, but as many of you know, offering water to a cat doesn't always work. Suki is one of those cats that will literally never drink water when it's offered to her. Thankfully, we do have a little trick to get around this. We always bring a bowl and a small can of wet food that we can mix with water. The savory flavor is enough to get Suki excited about drinking. We tend to keep most adventures under 3 hours long, and are always watching Suki's body language so that we know when it's time to head back.